Thanks, Alan. What I wanted to be able to do is to make sure, and Alan, obviously as the head of training, be able to tell you what it is that we really do, what the view looks as much as you can see from the operator standpoint. But again, it is to re-emphasize that point that we do not believe that there are blind spots. And my guess is that, Lynn, you would speak to that from a truck driver, a Teamster standpoint as well. We believe very strongly that the training we provide is to be able to show how, in fact, every operator can make sure that those visual barriers are able to be seen around. Alan would be happy to be able to answer any questions if you would have anything from the board.
Fred, thank you for that. And Alan, thank you for your presentation. Just a comment on because of my past experience as a truck driver, defensive driving courses and videos are so important. We watch them constantly as truck drivers and begin to learn to drive very defensively, not offensively. We were taught to drive defensively. And I would hope that we are showing those videos. You know, I recommend you show them in your lunchrooms and anytime you have any drivers on downtime, have a constant video of defensive driving running. And in your packets, I recommend that this gentleman write you, all board members. He's a local safety expert. And Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that TriMet very seriously consider this local safety expert to just come in and walk through what you do, Alan, and walk through with you. I believe a new set of eyes must look at everything we do and you do. And if he can add anything about you, I think he can. That would help us all. And review the preventable, non-preventable, which I had some questions, and I thank you for changing some things in that process. But I highly recommend this gentleman, and I would like to see you interview him, Fred, and look at just hiring temporarily to come in and just walk all through you, with you, and see what can be done to further improve, if he can. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Phil. And thank you,
Fred, you made a point of emphasizing that there are no blind spots. I'm not clear on what the distinction is between blind spot and I think you call them visual barriers. Could you help me understand what's the difference?
Well, the point that I was trying to reach was that a blind spot implies that there were places that you couldn't see, and what we want to make it clear is that by proper movement of the operator to be able to do the movement in the seat, that they are visual barriers that you see around, and in fact can very easily, and you saw not much movement on the part of either the head or the body of that operator, that they are able to see around it. What we want to make sure, and this is one of the reasons why these words have been chosen by Alan and his people, they are not my words, but that is that a visual barrier is really something that you work around to be able to fully see what is happening. A blind spot implies there are some places you just can't see, and we're never willing to have our operators believe that there's something they can't see. They can move so that they can have full vision.
Fred, you had earlier told me that we talked about moving of the views and things like that, physical changes to the buses, and I know we're adopting best practices, but that's something you considered, but decided not to pursue because of the experience of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Is that correct?
Well, we are. That's still a part of the top to bottom review. What we have found is that at least one transit property, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities, had in fact ordered a new fleet of their buses with the mirror raised up higher. They are now retrofitting those back down lower because they found at least two problems. One was that as the high rear view mirror was there, that operators had to take their eyes off of exactly what's in front or to their side to look at it, and two, that it had a glare that was difficult to be able to see. But this is something that the top-to-bottom review is going to be doing much more comprehensively. The example that was in Minneapolis is one part of that base of review, but we want to do more and ask our national safety expert to be able to also assist us in really evaluating that best practice. But these are, I think it's, what we don't want to do is to jump to something that doesn't produce more problems, but just of a different sort. We want to be able to get to the best.
Board Member Van Rock.
I see that the gentleman that Mr. Lerbach has recommended has worked with UPS in the past, and one of the questions I have is your review going to examine what UPS has done in terms of banning all left turns? And I think their original reason for doing that was to save energy.
Yes.
But it feels like in addition to saving energy, there's a safety potential there as well, so I'm curious if that is going to be looked at.
The answer is yes. The national safety expert works not just with transit properties, but with other providers as well. UPS would be typical. What our numbers have shown is that in terms of accidents, about 57% occur for us on a left turn, and the remaining 43% on right turns, those times that there have been accidents. So trading 3 rights for a left, which is kind of what UPS has done as a way to be able to, and again, their webpage, not to say that there aren't safety issues that are there, but their webpage certainly talks about it solely around the fuel usage efforts. But those are the things that we need to be able to evaluate. If we can actually take a left turn out that is eliminating a left turn, obviously that's very attractive. If it's replaced merely by 3 rights, then we're not certain that that makes good safety sense. And so those are the balancing act. This is where we expect a top-to-bottom review and that national expert to assist us in making the best judgments.
And thank you, Ron. I wanted to take this opportunity to express to Mr. Sales and his family and all of those who have lives have been turned upside down by this tragic accident, the board's condolences and extend them, and tell you that we are holding our management accountable for a full safety review, and we're confident that they're adopting new practices, best practices, safety revisions that I think General Manager Hansen already alluded to on a real-time basis as they seem practical and beneficial to implement. So I just want to assure you that as an agency, we are on this problem and intend to do our very best to make sure that this kind of tragedy doesn't happen in our system again. Mr. Sales, would you like an opportunity to address the board?